News Panorama is a TV news magazine program that gives you the story behind the story.
It tells the stories the way they should be told by capturing the larger scale.
It deals with people's deep feelings on issues that, when brought to the fore, ultimately educates, informs, and entertains.
News Panorama. Capture the larger scale.
Effective May 1st, 2026, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, is implementing stricter bank verification number (BVN) policies to curb fraud. Key changes include mandatory 18 years and above age requirements for registration, restriction of banking apps to one device, a 20,000 naira transaction cap on new devices within 24 hours, and limiting phone number changes to ones. These measures target SIM swap fraud and unauthorized access, strengthening the security of digital banking in Nigeria. Another important issue is the jet fuel prices in Nigeria, which have surged to record high in April 2026, reaching between 1,960 naira and 2,800 naira per litre, with some reports indicating spikes as high as 3,300 naira per litre. This represents a massive increase from approximately 900 to 1,000 naira per litre in February. The surge is driven by global supply disruption, specifically instability in Middle East affecting the Strait of Hormuz, forcing local marketers to pass on high costs. Away from economic issues, we'll also delve into the health sector, looking at the high rates of counterfeit products as they have become highly prevalent in Nigeria, with estimates suggesting about 40% to over 70% of certain goods, particularly pharmaceuticals, are fake or substandard. This crisis results in an estimated 26 trillion 980 billion 400 million naira annual economic loss and pose major health risks as fraudulent items ranging from medicines and food to automatic parts. These and many more are on our lineup this week. It is a must watch.
News Panorama. Capture the larger scale.
Welcome and thanks for joining me on the program News Panorama. I am Josephine Fanga. If you have just tuned in, you are watching News Panorama. The Central Bank of Nigeria has rolled out updated guidelines on the bank verification number (BVN), tightening regulations around how Nigerians register, assess, and manage their bank-linked identities, with the policy set to make effect from May 1st, 2026. The move comes amid rising cases of digital fraud, identity theft, and unauthorized transaction, with the Apex Bank positioning the policy as a safeguard for the integrity of the financial system. Under the new framework, stricter controls have been introduced on BVN enrollments and updates, including tighter verification for phone number changes, limits from access from unfamiliar devices, and closer monitoring of suspicious transactions across accounts. Blessing Basi tells us more, the report.
The Central Bank of Nigeria on January 1st, 2026 announced a new rule that would change how Nigerians manage their phone numbers linked to bank verification numbers (BVN), with the directives that from May 1st, 2026, customers will be allowed to change the phone numbers attached to their BVN only once for the rest of their lives. Research has it that this is a major change from the previous system where people could update their BVN phone numbers anytime they lost a SIM card, changed network providers, or switched to a new line. All commercial banks operating under the CBN have been directed to follow this new rule. However, other respondents raised concern about the high charges often paid at banks during updates and other services. They pleaded with banking authorities to consider reducing these charges or make them more affordable for customers.
This as a point to bring people to have at least one line so that it can be more for security reasons. My number is the one I'm using to get alert and also to withdraw money.
You know, all these SMS charges and all that, I think those things are supposed to be limited because those things are some of the things that are discouraging people from putting their money in the bank, and nobody is very discouraging because a situation whereby you just stay and like this and all of a sudden a total amount of money is being removed from your listing and maybe for any maintenance or any other kind of things, you know, because they have access to your money at any time they get to it. Those things has to be minimized.
In line with this provision that is being made now, I kind of wonder what they are also doing in case of emergency or in cases of exigencies, whereby a person loses his SIM card and just before the day I think measures should be put in place to ensure that in cases of this kind of happenstances that the person does not lose his account.
According to the CBN, the new policy is mainly aimed at reducing fraud, especially a crime known as SIM swap fraud. This type of fraud happens when criminals trick network providers into giving them control of someone else's phone number. Once they take over the number, they can receive bank alert, one-time passwords, and reset banking details to steal money from accounts. Some respondents noted that they would take time to visit their banks and update their BVN details to more permanent phone number that is properly registered in their name.
It's just one phone number that is linked to my accounts. Like I'm using Sterling Bank, I'm banking with Sterling Bank. So ever since there was one other phone number I used, so I had to go and use the one I linked to my NI to use to register it. So I think it's a good idea.
I think it's okay because there are many fraudulent activities carrying out here in the country. So I think that would be okay because maybe when we have two numbers, one may belong to the owner of the account and one may not belong to the owner of the account. So now bringing one phone number there, I think it will activate the account because it will belong to one person. Because when you have two numbers, maybe either you may not be using that phone number again, or maybe from there now you can use the active number like the one you are using currently. I think that would be fine.
There are still some people that have not done bank verification numbers up to this time, and it is bad. Should anything happen to your finances in the bank, I think Nigerians, not just me as a person, I keep updating my details with the bank because I don't want my small 3,000 to go missing.
Phone numbers are used as a key security link for most banking services in Nigeria. The CBN believes limiting the number of changes to one a lifetime will make it harder for fraudsters to take control of one's account and move funds without permission. For customers, the new rule means they must carefully choose a phone number they plan to keep for a long time and ensure it is properly registered in their name. However, the policy has raised concern among some legal privacy groups and residents in Cross River State who reacted to the development, saying the rule could help reduce cybercrime and financial theft. But they also urge the government to create support measures for people who may lose their SIM card after deactivation.
That my own bank is linked to my phone number and my BVN also. But it's a welcome development. If actually they can keep to it and equally, stop all these internet fraudsters and all that, that would be a very good, idea.
I think it's a welcome development. I like the fact that the central bank is doing all they can to ensure that cybercrime and theft and other related criminal activities as regards banking and the finances is being taught in the nation as well.
Despite the ongoing concerns, the CBN has advised customers not to delay updating their BVN details, warning that once the deadline passes, failing to act early could lead to serious difficulties accessing bank services in the future. For CRBC News Panorama, Blessing Bassi reporting.
Air travel in Nigeria may soon face major disruption as airline operators warn of positive flight suspension due to rising costs of aviation fuel. The sharp increase in fuel prices is putting pressure on airlines and raising concerns about its wider impact on transportation and the economy. Praise Chijoke tells us more on the report.
Air travel in Nigeria may soon face major disruptions as airline operators warn of possible flight suspensions due to the rising cost of aviation fuel. The sharp increase in fuel prices is not only putting pressure on airlines but also raising wider concerns about transportation and the state of the economy. In recent weeks, the price of aviation fuel, known as Jet A1, has surged, rising from about 900 naira per litre to over 3,200 naira per litre. This sharp increase has forced airlines to operate at significantly higher costs, with some warning that continuing operations under these conditions may no longer be sustainable. News Panorama crew was on the streets of Calabar to know the economic impact of this on the citizens. Some residents noted that if flight operations are eventually suspended in Nigeria, it could disrupt the economic balance as transportation remains a key driver of economic activities.
Anything that affects transportation, if there is an increase in any transportation, be it flight, be it a vehicle, or any other source of transportation, it will affect the masses.
Limiting movement of goods, movement of services. It will also lead to unemployment for those in the aviation sector.
Others, however, are calling on the government to urgently address the rising costs and put measures in place to ease the situation.
Let them reduce the price so that it can be affordable to any Nigerian who have the intention to take flight.
The government to do is to pay attention towards it, because as it is now, flight is the only safe way of travel. So I suggest that they look into the situation well and address the matter.
As airline operators and government authorities continue to engage on possible solutions, the situation highlights ongoing challenges within the country's economic structure, particularly around fuel pricing, supply, and its far-reaching impact on different sectors. For many Nigerians, the hope is that any intervention will not only address the aviation sector, but also ease the growing burden of transportation costs on everyday life. For CRBC News Panorama, Praise UK reporting.
The growing prevalence of counterfeit products in Nigeria has become a major concern for consumers, businesses, and regulatory agencies alike. From fake pharmaceuticals and substandard food items to imitation of electronics and fashion goods, the Nigerian market is increasingly flooded with products that pose serious risk to public health, safety, and the economy. Despite efforts by regulatory agencies, the circulation of counterfeit goods continues to thrive, driven by factors such as weak enforcement, high demand for cheaper alternatives, and porous borders. Ifeanyi examines the rising trend, its underlying causes, and its impact on Nigerians. The report.
In recent years, the circulation of counterfeit goods has intensified across major markets in Nigeria, affecting both urban and rural communities. These fake products, often difficult to distinguish from genuine ones, are sold at lower prices, making them attractive to unsuspecting customers. According to estimates by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, counterfeit and pirated goods account for over 3% of global trade, with developing countries like Nigeria significantly affected. Locally, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has in recent years reported seizing billions of naira worth of fake and substandard products annually, highlighting the scale of the problem. However, beneath the appeal of affordability lies a dangerous reality, as many of these items pose serious risks to health, safety, and overall consumer protection. Speaking to some residents, they expressed concern over the situation. They stated that the high population, the increasing demand for money, and the overwhelming demand for products are key factors.
Everybody wants to make money, and everybody wants to succeed because of the economic condition of the country. The high rate of things, so everybody wants to hustle, wants to make money. So some company will produce like this about product. Many things that are coming from that as is they are all fake. So some company will try to produce to reach the demands of society always.
Because now, besides the population, there is also a rush for economic exigencies, much rush for the way we rush over feeding, which actually bring in inferior things, materials, to produce money, to produce food. Let's talk of in the food, even the food we eat, is no more the money from the natural composites that produce that food. Today, the rush of people for money create a lot of scam, fraudsters, a lot of other things. And that is one of the things that actually now suppress the originality.
On his part, Mr. Cyril Okon, a resident in Calabar, emphasized that counterfeit products, especially food items, are harmful to the human body. He urged the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, to remain committed to its responsibility of ensuring the safety and quality of food and drugs in circulation.
I've not had any experience with fake products, but I know actually it's real. And on the question of what we can do about it, I think things like food, drugs are to be recommended by NAFDAC. I think there are folks in charge to checkmate products before approving them, most especially drugs. But based on the country we are, some persons can even cut corners to make sure and NAFDAC, you understand what I mean. So, but then I think there should be, even in that NAFDAC also, there should be other bodies.
Others, while sharing their experiences with counterfeit products, also called on the government and relevant authorities to step up efforts in curbing the growing menace.
The only experience I have is fake money. The quality is different from normal money. So when you see fake money, you know. The government should improve for our security agency so that they will know their work. So for my own opinion is let our security should improve for their own work.
I wanted to buy it for my child. It was this Cerelac baby's food. The product you can give your child, it will be harmful to someone's health. Yeah, so it's very bad. It's not good to consume such things that inside your body. The government will set an agency that should be going around those supermarkets to regulating those stuff, those goods that are in the shops, so that they will know those are pirated, those are not good. Yeah, to know those are being expired.
As the proliferation of counterfeit products continues to threaten public health and consumer confidence, there is a growing call for stricter enforcement, increased public awareness, and stronger collaboration among regulatory agencies. Addressing this challenge remains critical to safeguarding the well-being of Nigerians and restoring trust in the market system. For CRBC News Panorama, Efiowan Ekbita reporting.
Following the state government's crackdown on unhygienic slaughter practices, butchers, buyers, and community leaders have shared their experiences as new standards begin to reshape meat processing across the state, the report.
In response to growing public health concern, the Cross River State recently declared war against unsafe meat processing practice. The directive aimed at protecting consumers from foodborne diseases has begun to influence activities in slaughterhouses across the state. At some slaughter like ultra-modern abattoir Ikorenobong Road and Marian Market Slaughter, there are visible evidence of change. Butchers were seen washing their tools, cleaning work surface, and making use of available water sources more frequently than before. Though the environment still reflected the reality of a busy local abattoir, efforts towards improved hygiene were noticeable. This is the ultra-modern abattoir Ikorenobong Road. Mr. Peter Amu is the president of Butcher Cross River State and chairman of Ikorenobong Slaughter. We also visited the Marian Market Slaughter. Prince Sunday Usoro is the vice chairman National Butcher Association Cross River State, where they said firewood is used in roasting the cow skin and general hygiene of the slaughter.
What inspires me to use firewood for burning of skin, that they were using tire to burn good. So since I love cow, I don't like using rubber to burn those things. Using firewood is cheaper, is better for people to enjoy their skin.
Procedure is that after buying the cow, we have medical personnel, we work with vets.
Enetie Itoro, Ndifreke Ita, and Wisdom Okon expressed confidence in the current system, adding that the hygiene and safety of meat processed at the facility are safe for public consumption.
The slaughter is clean. After slaughtering the cow, they now wash the slab, they wash the tail, they keep every place clean. So that's why I like coming to buy something.
Okonjo and Imo Henry expressed satisfaction with the level of cleanliness observed at the slaughterhouses where they butcher meat, noticing that hygiene is no longer something assumed, but something they actively look out for.
Why I patronize this slaughter? Because of the serene environment. We can view the environment and see how serene it is, how clean it is. In fact, number one slaughter in terms of cleanliness in the whole metropolis. I've been touring all over the other slaughters, but since I discovered this place, I know that this is the most clean slaughter to patronize.
Gift Asuko reporting.
The State Ministry of Health has officially announced a new case of COVID-19, sparkling a swift activation of the state emergency response and alerts members of the public to be wary of crowded gathering and avoid COVID-19 protocols to avoid transmission. The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Henry Ayuk, announced this in Calabar following a new case in the state, they report.
The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Henry Ayuk, said there is no cause for alarm despite the identified case, noting that the patient, a Chinese national working with Lafarge in Akampa, reportedly entered the country a month ago. Ayuk said from a risk management standpoint, the state remains safe and the situation has been managed effectively. Ayuk explained that after testing positive, the individual was immediately moved to the state-designated isolation center, maintaining that there is no cause for alarm as the identified case has already been quarantined according to established protocols. Despite reassurance, the state is not taking any chances. Commissioner Ayuk confirmed that the Public Health Emergency Operations Center has been activated and a rapid response team already deployed to Akampa to monitor the site and prevent further transmission.
So there's no alarm. A few days ago, about 3-4 days ago, we had a case of COVID-19 that had been confirmed. In the show that the processes involved with identifying and confirming every case of COVID-19 have been done. The protocols have been followed and it's confirmed. I would not like to announce something that it is not there. They discovered that it is not there. So we have a positive case, a Chinese that flew into the country exactly a month ago, and he works with Lafarge here in Akampa local government, in Famosing area. That case was reported first in terms of, it has the man about 53 years or so, had symptoms that were treated silently. Today, the case is still being managed at our center that is dedicated to the state. And he's doing well in terms of the clinical improvement. He's improving. We've activated our Public Health Emergency Operations Center in the state. We have deployed our rapid response teams to the local governments to Akampa. So Cross River is safe from the point of view of our risk management, where there is no point to be alarmed. The governor is at the forefront of a people first mantra.
The state epidemiologist, Dr. Blessing Nyang, said COVID-19 is still much around and the state has already initiated intensive contact tracing to stem any potential spreading, calling on members of the public to remain alert and observe all preventive measures to stay safe.
So COVID-19 is caused by SARS-CoV-19 virus, and it have the symptoms of fever, chills, sore throat, cough, and catarrh. In severe cases, the respiratory system is compromised, where the person may have difficulty in breathing. So most cases they are all mild cases. That is why we have not been hearing about it. But I want to say that COVID-19 is still with us. So we urge everybody to send out positive information, positive message that will stem the spread.
Sunday Ina.
That is all we have on our lineup this week. We hope to be back same time next week. Do keep a date with us. I am Josephine Efanga. For updates and engagement, follow us on our official social media handles: Facebook at CRBCX, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at CRBC Online, YouTube at CRBC New Media, WhatsApp on 090-377-8747. We look forward to connecting with you.